Hello, hello, hello. It is I, Howard Palmer, known as the Cosmonaut, but as the podcast goes, only Black Cosmonaut. I'm sitting with my friend here, Justin, and we are going to attempt to talk to you on the subject of I love people, but I hate humans. A quick introduction to that statement, or sentence, I love people, but I hate humans. It's something I've been working with as a mantra for this year. How I want to experience my now, or how I am experiencing my now. Defining people, it's simply just us talking. Humans is our nature. So why do I hate humans? Is I hate our nature. I hate the way that we feel so toxic about, or we act so toxic about our life. So hopefully this works in the sense that it brings you more context around the subject, or at least the title, and maybe you might have some opinions, but I definitely wanted to get my friend Justin's opinion. Justin and I met a couple years ago from digital to real life. We found each other online. I think you found either the podcast or the movement.
It's your Instagram.
It was my Instagram. And then we met up, we hiked a little bit, and then separated in the sense of life showed up. Then miraculous. No. What's that word?
I don't believe in coincidence.
Coincidence.
I'll use that word.
Yeah. Coincidentally, we ran into each other, and now here we are, bringing this moment together because after a brief conversation, I felt like this was something I wanted to talk to him about. So, Justin, I love people, but I hate humans. What do you hear what do you think when you hear that?
So, the first thing that really comes to my mind when I think of love people and hate humans is wanting to flip the words just for my own verbiage in my own mind. I think of I love humans and I hate people. I think of people as sort of the facade that we as human beings put on to present ourselves to the world and show up with. And along with this facade comes with all the complaining, comes with all of the negative self-talk, all of the hating, all of the issues that we see these days. And when I think of the word human, to me, that completed is human being, and that is ourselves in our purest form. That is just me here with Cosmo, with Howard, just present in the moment, just talking, engaging, having the conversation. And I believe that's the important part. So when I say I love human and hate people, I love when we are in our humanness, when we are human beings and we are open to the experience of ourselves with other selves, knowing that ultimately we are all one, and everything that I see right here in you is a reflection of myself. And something I was pondering on this morning was, today I'm going to approach everybody that I see and engage with as a reflection of myself and really pay attention to what it is I'm looking at and what it is that I'm seeing.
That's powerful. No, I love that. I think the biggest thing I took away from that is something that you're constantly working with through people. You know, if you're going to approach people in the sense of that open awareness, then it's going to allow you to learn some rawness that you may not know from before. And that is how I do agree to see the subject as well, or see the title of Loving People, Hating Humans. As you heard, he kind of switched it around. For him, it's the opposite. He wants to get better with our humanity and get rid of the peopleness, which might talk more to an individuality that we seem to want to embody. Everyone wants to be an individual. Do you think that that's toxic, that individualness? I know you kind of hinted to that, but like when we grow up, we're all part of our experience, right? And more so our condition. Like if you grew up a certain way, and in a lot of ways that's a positive for us. We might learn through financial parents how to save money, or through college how to be with our degree, like whatever it is, we had some positives in life. So we take on that and say, those are my experiences, and essentially that is the me that I'm in love with, because look at all the good things that happen. But that individual persona, that individuality, sometimes makes you separate from others because they may have not had the same path you did. So what do you think about that?
About individuality?
Yeah, especially in the space of you hating it and loving more the humans. But when you see a positive side of that, how could you hate that?
I believe, I mean, to me, there's a shadow, there's a positive and a negative side to everything. And with being an individual, there is, I mean, I feel like it's like a tool with the way that with the way you just described it there and how I received it. It feels like as if it's a tool, like being an individual or being yourself in the sense of how you choose to wield it. For example, I can go and make a poor choice. I can go and rob somebody's home. Or I can go and start a business that creates jobs for thousands of people. Or I can just go and find, like if I find a wallet on the side of the road, I can pick it up and return it to somebody's home. These are all positive little things and negative little things. Whereas I also feel kind of like torn because I feel like I'm everything. I feel like connected to everything, and that's not to say that I'm gonna do everything.
Right.
Or even like I don't even feel like I have the potential within me to do certain things. Like I don't think I'd be able to kill a human.
Or fly a plane if you don't know how. Right.
If I don't know how. That's a bit of an aggressive example.
No, they both work because you could crash that thing.
Exactly. So, for me, it's just trying to show up as open as possible to the experience of who I may be, who I am. When I feel like I'm trying, I don't feel like I'm being myself. And when I feel like I'm just like when I'm not trying, I feel like that's when I'm more myself. When I don't have to try. Like,
so you're not trying to be the experiences, or you're not trying to...
I'm not trying to be the mountain hiker. I'm not trying to be the wild man.
I see.
I'm not trying to be like the runner.
The person who identifies through their experience as that individual.
I'm not trying to be the yogi. I'm doing yoga.
I get it.
I am the activity itself, like in that moment.
So you don't, the peopleness is how we take the experience and put a title to it. That's what you're not about. Or
I wouldn't say I'm not about it. It's just something that I noticed that I feel like is something that we use to...
It's a tool.
We use to pull it away from.
So even if it's perceived positive or perceived negative, no matter what, it's still a tool in that space of you prefer the humanness, even though those tools are people associated or people used or used by people.
I don't want to think of it as like an object either.
Okay.
Because that kind of sounds like an object.
You said tools, you know, so
I made it an object.
I get it.
But it's also it's as if it's deeper than that in the sense of the tool is just the verbiage that I use to describe it, but it's like I couldn't think of a better word to use in the moment.
So something that we utilize like a tool to maybe ground that experience here on Earth. Right? Because all those examples, or at least the examples given, require you to be on Earth too. Hiker, yogi, like you're experiencing, whether you're touching it or right? Versus if you're not doing that and you're trying to be the experience, being everything, I am the ground, I am the ground, I am the rock, I am the air, I am the bike, you know. That's powerful too. That, do you think that's does that take you away from not wanting to help people? Because you're kind of just like, because what I hear is like, it's all love. And then so if you see an injustice and you don't think from your position you can resolve it, it's all love. Maybe it was meant to, like, I don't know, that's the example I came up with.
I feel like
let her close that. There you go.
I feel like, I don't want this to sound callous or anything, but from like a very high perspective, to me it is all love. Like, just from what I've been studying personally lately and what I've felt lately, to me, from the highest point, it's like as if it is unconditional love. Now, obviously, that is a terrible thing. Like, I don't want, like, if I were to see somebody being bullied, I was bullied as a young guy. So, like, if I were to see somebody being bullied, we're presented with two choices, or really three choices. There's the optimal choice, which is I would feel to step in and do something.
Come up closer because of the truck.
I feel like which is to step in and do something. There is the suboptimal choice, which is to do nothing. or
Yeah.
like to walk away and just leave the situation.
Mhm.
There is a third choice, which I feel like would just to be stay there and to watch it, which is to just allow it, which I feel like is the worst. So in that in particular case, like step in and use that peopleness to like kind of step in and do what you can to navigate the situation and split it up.
Nullify? Neutralize?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still powerful. If you couldn't hear, I know we're outside and I'm loving today's day, and so that's why this experience is now. What Justin is saying and what I'm understanding, is that there are levels, layers, but more so from the experience of him hating people and loving humans. He wants us, the peopleness is too separated. When we experience something, we take it on and then don't assume that anyone else can. Or if they do, they're not like us. Where the humanness could see the same experience, and it's not about, oh man, I'm having a great time and no one else deserves this. It's what an experience I'm having, and this is me. And so if they come up to anybody else and talk about that experience, it's almost that same person is in that experience with them because of their personal shared experience is not so individualized to their opinion, but their experience. Okay.
That's why I'm so drawn to sharing my story. Just in the sense that it allows other people, like, we're so connected. I mean, if you hear somebody else's story, if you sit down and get to know somebody, probably within 5 or 10 minutes, there's going to be something that you can both connect on and be like, I resonate with that.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're constantly just resonating with each other, reverberating back. And there's so many interconnected parts of all of our stories.
Yeah.
And just creating that space where two people or groups of people can come together and share stories, hear stories. And connect in that way. It's very powerful.
Well, yes. I think we're getting a good idea of what loving people and hating humans. Again, it's a personal mantra that kind of came to me as I'm positioning myself to be more of a service to other people, using my talents and my gifts and my discipline, and creating a platform for people to feel open to speak. And loving people and hating humans is a part of that. And Justin's side of that story is also a part of that. So I want to thank everyone for watching, listening, and at least thinking about what this all means. I will continue to make it a subject. If you have an opinion, please hit me up, comment. You can go on any of the social platforms of Only Black Cosmonaut. Justin, any final, not even final, I don't want that word. Any concluding thoughts?
I just want to thank you. Thank you for having me here, for allowing me to share the space with you and share my thoughts. And it was really awesome to reconnect with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I view you as somebody who has a bunch of wisdom to share, honestly. I just view you as kind of moving into that elder space and being in a position where you can share that with people my age, with people that are even younger than myself, so that we can all grow, especially young men.
Yeah, man, I'm getting old and
not old.
Oh, I'm getting older. And like I said, my age is not the importance, it's how I'm experiencing it. And when I look around men my age, their experience is not the same. So who's at fault, if at fault, or what's right? And why is that important? It's because of our shared experience. If I'm not looking like a typical man my age, then maybe typical men my age won't want to associate with me. And so if they're not able to look past that, then that's a problem. And same for me. I mean, I know I work on it, but I'm sure there's a lot I can do. Like, I'm even open to that. So you're welcome, and thank you too. I thank you for being willing. Like, a lot of what this can't happen through me. Like, a lot of it requires me to find those people who are willing to share. And I thank you for having that strength, because that right now in men, that takes strength. So you're very strong for that. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for watching. Only Black Cosmonaut, the podcast that talks about mindfulness, movement, and meditation. See you next time.